What's going on, everybody? Triple threat here. We're back. It's almost a weekend afternoon. We'll be here covering NBA Finals. The NBA Finals. Oh my God. Lakers, Heat, Game 1 Wednesday. What a disaster. What a disaster that game was. It's too bad. It's too bad. Both teams were coming in real hot. Both teams are 14-3. You had the Cinderella-ish story of Miami coming from like the 5 seed, I think. And then the Lakers, they're the 1 seed. Everybody, not everybody, but trying to poke holes in the armor a little bit. Done this myself, like when I picked Portland in 6 in round 1. I'm done picking against the Lakers, okay? I was a mistake. I was foolish to pick against LeBron James and Anthony Davis when you have the 2 best players on the court. No other team had the 2 best players on the court. Clippers probably had the only roster that could have mattered in terms of they had Kawhi, which arguably is the 1 or 2, possibly. But I'm not even sure about that. I'm still sure that LeBron, watching them play, LeBron and AD still were the better players, even if they faced the Clippers over Paul George and Kawhi Leonard. But what's funny is I'm sad now after watching the Nuggets. After watching the Nuggets come back to beat the Clippers, it made me really happy because I hate the Clippers. I hate the Clippers. But you know what? The Lakers-Clippers series, man, think about how exciting that would have been. How chippy that would have been. How contested that would have been. So we didn't get to see that matchup. Now, I think the bubble and COVID played a role in that. Nuggets just, played so much better together. Clippers imploded. But we didn't get to see the matchup between the Lakers and the Heat. So what happened in Game 1? I mean, we'll take a look at those highlights. We'll break down some of the plays and the keys to the game. I made some predictions last time talking about offensive rebounding, turnovers. Bam is the key to this series for the Heat. Got in foul trouble, and now Bam is injured for Game 2. Bam is now injured for Game 2. Oh, man. It's just too bad. It's too bad. I think the series could have been potentially good. I had the Lakers in 6. Because, again, they have the 2 best players on the court. They got the 2 best players on the court. How can you pick against the 2 best players on the court? Basketball, you're only running 5 guys out there. When you have 2 of the best 10 players, especially in different positions, so they do different things, they cover different areas, it's kind of hard to pick against that. Now, there's a lot of, especially I see this on Twitter a lot, all these Lakers fans, okay, I'm a Warriors fan, all these Lakers fans keep talking about how everybody is picking against them. Now, I only picked against them in the first round, only because of how hot Portland got. Lakers weren't shooting well. Their defense has always been there. Defense, the old cliche, defense does win championships. Well, that's pretty true. Pretty true, isn't it? Lakers have been one of the best defensive teams all year. And their offense, even if they're not making shots, they have something to tip their hat on. They're going to stop you. At least make it difficult for you to score. So they'll always be in a game. And then, going along the way, Lakers basically lost every game 1. Last night, Wednesday night, they were in the Mamba jerseys, right? They were in the Mamba jerseys Wednesday night. You really think they're going to lose in the Mamba jerseys? Not a chance. No way, not a chance. So in this game, let's actually just go right to the highlights. Let's take a look at those. And then we'll break down some stats and look at some certain moments into the game.
victory against Boston in the conference finals. They have been quite the story here in the bubble. Dragic kicks it out. Crowder
right past the Crowder. So I saw this. I saw this in the beginning of the game, right? And I'm just thinking, okay, Crowder has been playing really bad. He has been shooting really poorly. And good start. First shot, like LeBron literally just left them open, I think. Or no, I think it was Anthony Davis left them open. And it's the three. All right, good start. Hey, maybe we'll have a series.
That's good.
I love the decision by Miami to double
LeBron.
And now James
okay.
in isolation.
All right. I mean, you live with Anthony Davis shooting threes. You live with Anthony Davis shooting threes. That's just the way it is.
But I agree with you, Coach.
Butler.
Those two guys, as Butler knocks down the shot, are proven.
Butler shooting with confidence there. You like that. You like that.
As Butler drives and finishes.
He went right out LeBron from the start of the game. Oh, great little play there. They got to switch that screen, though. Okay, if LeBron James is hitting that shot like that, you're in a world of hurt. You're in a world of hurt. So game ball actually, game ball should go to KCP, Cartavius Caldwell-Pope, because when the Heat went on this run in the first quarter, he kept them above water. Right? That if KCP didn't hit those shots, they could have been down 20 in the first quarter. That's a different ball game than down 10. Now, I think they still would have won, but they could have been down 20.
Shot knocks it down.
I don't believe that. Matter of fact, I know it's not true. Nothing like playing against your former team. You have
coach knows him well.
All right, good play by Bam. So this pick and roll with Dwight. Oh, so with Dwight. Okay, let's see what they're doing on the weak side. This is weird. I guess the Lakers are saying we're just going to stay at home, right?
Well, does that give him any?
So they do the pick and roll, right? Okay. So they don't switch it, right? They don't switch it. Dragic gets downhill. Look at where LeBron is on this play. Look at where LeBron is on this play. This should have been his call. This should have been his. He blew this assignment. He's the lowest defender. Low defender, right? And then you have Anthony Davis. If he passes it, he goes here, right? And then maybe you rotate KCP here and so forth. But he stays home, gives Dragic the layup. Okay. It is what it is.
Dragic using the Adebayo screen. Dragic floats it up. Shot won't go. Bam, Adebayo.
Just a bad shot. Got lucky.
You're a guy that a lot of people looked up to. You inspired a lot of kids, and I was one of those kids.
Jimmy.
Thank you.
Jimmy, get into the lane. See, 8-point game now. Dragic is dealing. 10-point game. I'm watching this game. I'm watching this game at this point. I'm like, okay. And then I think Crowder hits into 3. I'm watching this. I'm like, all right. Okay. Heat aren't scared. That's good.
Well, this is when James takes.
And then Rondo's hitting this garbage. Yeah, okay. You know the bubble's doing weird things when Rajon Rondo, who's never been a good shooter in any point of his career, is shooting over 50% on enough volume now. It's been how many games, right? At least 8 or 9 games for him, I think he's played. And he's shooting over 50%. You know the bubble is making shooting numbers inflated.
7 on the 24. Jay Crowder misses, but Iguodala right there, playing in his 6th.
So they're up 13.
Caldwell-Pope, same spot.
See KCP hitting that 3. Let's see how this worked out in the zone. So Duncan's got to tag Anthony Davis, otherwise it's a dunk. And then he got the open look. Hey. Lakers role players have one job and one John Obi: catch and make open shots. Then go on the other side and play defense. So I guess 2 jobs: play defense. Number 2, play defense. Number 1, when you're open, hit the shot. This is a practice shot, basically.
Caldwell-Pope, same spot, same result. Back-to-back threes.
So hit back-to-back threes.
With Duncan Robinson's pass against.
Oh no, you can't let middle penetration happen.
With a drive to the rim.
Crowder. So you're okay. You'll live with an Anthony Davis jump shot. He's great. He might make that.
as Davis answers.
You cannot let him do that, though.
To the rim.
You will definitely lose with that.
Turn it over. James with the steal, throws it up.
Great pass inside.
Back up, and this time able to finish.
And the adjust.
Rondo out to Davis.
Great rotation. Hit Caruso. See, again, as the role guys for the Lakers, their job is very defined. Catch, make shots. Rondo has a little bit more responsibility because he is the playmaker. He's a secondary ball handler playmaker. Caruso can do it a little bit, but he's a secondary playmaker ball handler.
And we've been scoring in the conference finals. An excellent rebounder for his position. Now drives and banks it home.
Okay, the Lakers went on that run, right, to get back in the game. And you're looking here, and it's just like, okay, this is going to be a back-and-forth game, right? Finds Butler, bang, corner three. 2-point game.
I'm not hating. I'm saying it's not the same organization.
You can't give up 3 points like that. Oh, Hero. You banked that in. Hero banked that three. So, 1-point game. Danny Green, great pass.
Nice pass out.
Okay, if Davis hits that shot, it's okay. Don't overreact. Stop letting middle penetration. It's crazy. They're totally overreacting. Hero. How do you beat the zone? How do you beat the zone? Okay? You don't want defenders. You don't want offensive guys in this zone. You don't want... That's how the zone gets broken. Okay? Make them continue to hit jump shots, which the Lakers did. You can't let you get beat middle. No. Keep the ball in front of you.
Iguodala to Butler. Butler layup is good.
All right. 9-point game. All right. The rotation is just so slow here. Like, they're just losing energy. Like, you should be sprinting. The person to leave open here... The person to leave open here is Rondo, right? Although Rondo's hitting that three a lot. You just live with the results. Like, who else are you going to think? So, Butler should be sprinting, knowing that Crowder's got to get here. Now, the back and forth rotation, so Bam's over here. Normally, Bam would cover that too. But Butler's got to sprint there, and then you have Andre should be the one to cover for Butler. So that zone, they didn't play the zone that much, but it didn't look good. They weren't crisp. The rotations weren't crisp. Listen to that. 11 threes they hit. Now, that could be part of the problem why those rotations weren't as good. They've already hit 11 threes. Okay? I think they were 11 for 18 in the first half. It's tough, man. Can't win games like that. Oh, Butler.
Doesn't look like he's happy, even though his challenge was successful.
Second half, I think now. No, still in the second quarter. Stop getting beat middle. Stop. Jesus, keep the ball in front of you. Look, beat middle. Beat middle. How many, you can't get beat middle. Oh, Butler hurt his ankle there.
Butler is down and in pain.
I mean, hey, look at that. Beat middle again. It's just the same play over and over and over again.
Went to his bench and they did not disappoint.
So second half, they immediately need to go like a 10-0 run to get it. So their goal, when you're down by almost 20 points to start a half, the goal is by the end of start of the fourth quarter, you want to be within 10 points. That should be a reasonable goal. Okay. LeBron's hitting that shot. It's over.
Has been their leading scorer.
I just don't buy that he hit enough of them. Danny Green hits this one. 21-point game. Crowder. So the good thing for the Heat is Heat didn't shoot that poorly either. Look at this. Look at this volleyball. That's what happens in a zone. It's hard to rebound.
As crazy as it sounds, that we have taken LeBron James' greatness for granted.
Oh my God. Duncan Robinson. Keep the ball in front of you. Keep it in front of you. You want them to shoot jump shots. Look at this. Just waltzing down the lane. It's crazy.
Davis has had his way.
That's okay. Davis is going to make those. He's great. Don't overreact.
with his 9th rebound.
We're down by 30 now. Look at this. Just waltzing around, dunking it. It's pathetic.
Iguodala goes across the lane, lost it, got it back.
It's pathetic.
Up, bounces around and drops through.
Just blowout minutes.
Oh my God.
And Nunn was just had
30-point game.
Here. Feeds quickly, and Olynyk a quick bucket. Come back as an
Just an explosion by the Lakers. The Lakers just played amazing. They understood what they needed to do to break any zone or even just to score. Okay. Butler on LeBron. Okay. Gets beat baseline. There's no Bam on the court, by the way, at this point, so that hurts, right? No shot blocking.
Nunn drives, gets inside. Nice layup from Nunn.
I mean, let it be. Pat Riley had
wow.
Memorial
Look at this. They're just
massacre.
playing volleyball. They're just messing around now. This is pathetic.
Their attention.
Oh my God.
Has, but there's a humbling to getting blown out.
Oh my goodness. So that pretty much covers the highlights. There's not much else to see in this. It's good to see Kendrick Nunn get some minutes. We can take a look at the box score. It's good to see Kendrick Nunn get some minutes out there. He's going to have to play now that Dragic is out. So tonight, Dragic and Bam are out of the game. I don't know what they do with that. I don't know, man. What do you do with that? Oh, jeez. Okay, let's look at the first quarter. Because the Lakers did a good job weathering the storm. All right, because look at this. They shot 4 for 9, 45% from the field, put up 28 points. The Heat did. So they got off to a good start. They didn't get to the free throw line much. But on the other side, Lakers got to the free throw line 6 times, right? They shot 5 for 10 themselves and 10 for 20. Okay. So they ultimately played even. Here is the difference. Bam got 2 fouls in the first. The Heat really only have one big that could potentially bother. I say bother. You can't really stop, per se, Anthony Davis. Not over the course of a series. Maybe individual games. We saw that from the Rockets with PJ Tucker. He stopped him in game 1. And then from that point on, Davis dominated. You can't stop Anthony Davis for long stretches. What you can do is keep him out of the lane, make him a jump shooter, and you live with the results. He's great. He could still beat you that way, but it's better than him dunking it on your head. Better than him dunking the ball on your head. LeBron was pretty passive in the first. He didn't do a whole lot. Dwight Howard was pretty bad in the first. He was a minus 13. You know, a lot of it came down to Dwight couldn't get out to the shooters. Jay Crowder, like I predicted, Jay Crowder. And I thought after the first quarter that with how the quarter went, Jay Crowder and Dragic and any of the switches the Lakers could run when they played 2 bigs with Anthony Davis and Dwight Howard, maybe the Heat can shoot the Lakers out of a 2 big situation, right? Because you want to shoot them out of the 2 big situation. Now LeBron's also a big, so it's really 3 bigs. That's one of the things I underestimated. LeBron's kind of the 3rd big. I mean, he's 6'9". Bam is also 6'9", right? Bam's playing their center. So really the Lakers start with 3 bigs. So it's kind of difficult to deal with, but you want to play Dwight off the floor only because the zone doesn't do well against bigs with rebounding and getting cheapy fouls. And then that way Bam can be more of a roamer, hopefully. You put Crowder on Anthony Davis, you make Bam a roamer. Maybe you put on LeBron a little bit, although Butler is kind of drawn the LeBron assignment. Butler came out hot. He was ready to go. 4 for 5 in the field goal. In the field. Hit a 3. Butler's not a 3-point shooter. No turnovers. They had 3 turnovers in the quarter. Tyler Hero came out a little cold. Andre Iguodala was cold. That's when the Lakers went on that run when they hit all those 3s. KCP, game ball for sure. Okay. Now imagine KCP doesn't hit those shots. You know, Lakers aren't ahead in the first quarter. Miami Heat are ahead. And the Heat probably are up by 8 or 9. Maybe even they push that lead to 20 and the momentum doesn't completely shift. But KCP, we're hitting those shots. This is what makes the difference between great players, though. When you have a LeBron and Anthony Davis, it makes the role players' jobs so much easier, so much well-defined. Find a spot on the floor. When the ball gets to deliver to you from Anthony Davis or LeBron, one of the best passers of all time, make a shot. Shoot that open shot. You don't have to do too much. There's no reads to make. And on the other side, as a defender, you can play a lot more aggressive, knowing that you have the defensive player of the year candidate at the rim. You had him at the rim, ready to take away any drives. Let's say you get beat on a drive. You're not scared any longer to get beat on a drive. You could close harder on defenders. You could be more aggressive. You can gamble a little bit more, knowing that Anthony Davis will change and erase shots at the rim. So that's what makes the Lakers defense so good. Now they have pretty good individual defenders, like Danny Green's all right. KCP, has a lot of energy. Kuzma's all right. Rondo's, a good, crafty defender. LeBron can defend spurts. He doesn't like to waste too much energy on that side. And obviously, Anthony Davis is arguably the defensive player of the year. I mean, he didn't win it. Giannis did, but I mean, would anybody have been upset if Anthony Davis won it? Nope. Caruso is also a good defender. They got guys who can defend, or at least, and are smart, have good IQs. Let's take a look at this first quarter. I think there's one play from Hero that kind of defined a little bit something that Heat have to change. Let's see if we can look at this clip. See if I can find this clip. Oh, come on, internet. Okay, come on, NBA.stats@nba.com. Loading. I think this is this first play here. Let's see.
Job.
Turn off the sound. Okay, so they're up 10 here. I think this is one of the plays I looked at. Is like, this is not good. Look at where he catches this. This needs to be a shot. If the Heat have any kind of chance, okay, let's make this big. If Heat have any kind of chance, we'll watch this again, in this series, this needs to be a shot from Hero. Okay? He's no longer, think about the Boston series. So when you pump fake and you drive, remember who's at the rim in the Boston series? Daniel Tice. Or sometimes they even play smaller than that, and they would go with Gordon Hayward at the 5, essentially, because the Heat aren't actually that big. So you can't pump fake and expect you're going to get freebies at the rim. Okay, so let's see what happens here, right? So Hero catches the ball. Look, he's open. This is a shot. Needs to fire away. Pump fakes it. Look who's there. Look how much harder this shot is. Go back. Look at how much harder that shot is. You have to shoot it. Look how high he has to shoot this. I mean, look how high he has to put that off the rim to get that over Anthony Davis. Okay. I think Hero did this a couple times. Let's see. Jump shot, pull up jump shot. Let's see. What is this? Okay. Oh no, this is the end of the quarter. We don't want this one. Might be this one. Let's let that load a second. So they come around. Right. Andre gets to the lane. Come on, NBA stats. So Hero, open. Okay, good. He shoots that shot. He needs to learn to shoot that shot more. He cannot pump fake and drive when Anthony Davis is on the floor. It's a harder shot at the rim. Let it fly. Okay. So let's look at that second quarter. This is where things got kind of ugly. Where things got a little ugly. Jimmy Butler, still steady. 7 points. 3 for 5 from the field. 2 steals. He also had 2 turnovers, though. Bam was 0 for 3. Hero played better in this quarter. He was 3 for 7. Let's see here. Dragic, I think this is where he got hurt. They were 8 for 22 overall. Lakers defense locked him up. They just couldn't find open shots. They did a good job on Duncan Robinson not letting him get open. And this is where the avalanche came on their heads. Lakers in the second quarter went 6 for 7 from the three-point line. Just an absolute avalanche. It was crazy. LeBron, it was only 1 for 5 in this quarter. Okay? He was only 1 for 5 in this quarter. Danny Green, who's been atrocious, just terrible, shooting threes in this playoffs. Like, seriously, this guy has not made any open shots, like, at all. Goes 3 for 3 from the field, hits 2 threes. Kyle Kuzma hits a 3. We talked about Rajon Rondo earlier, that suddenly, Rondo is suddenly a three-point shooter. You know the bubble's doing weird things when Rondo is a three-point shooter now. Caruso, 2 for 2. Markieff Morris hits a 3. So they had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys. 5 guys hit a 3. 5 guys hit a 3. It's just crazy. You can't win. You can't win if you have to focus so much on stopping LeBron and Anthony Davis. If the role guys are hitting shots, it's over. That's what great players do to your team. It's over. I do want to look at Caruso's couple of makes. Let's see if we can get this up. Stats.nba.com is having some trouble right now, it looks like. But while that's loading, okay. So Dwight Howard played no minutes in the second quarter, right? So they stopped playing Dwight Howard. Like, I don't think JaVale played at all. Did JaVale play at all in this game? I don't think he did. Let's see. JaVale, did he play? JaVale didn't play any minutes in the second quarter. So Lakers essentially played Davis at the 5, LeBron at the 4 most of the quarter. This is where they started with. Oh, wait. Does that mark the starters? Yeah, that's the starters. But remember, Kuzma's also like 6'9". So the Lakers could play a lineup of Davis, James, Kuzma, who's more mobile than Dwight, right? And then they could play Rondo and like Caruso or something like that, or a KCP or something like that. Those guys all kind of rotate. Rondo, KCP, Caruso all rotate spots. Even Markieff Morris is 6'9". So the Lakers are a big team. So when we say they're playing 2 bigs, they're really playing 3 bigs. Sometimes 4 bigs, because Kuzma can play big, right? Markieff Morris can play big. So the Avalanche came on their head. So I'm like thinking, okay, all right, here's the Avalanche. Okay. Heat, second half. He's been known to come back in games. Second half, make the adjustments, right? Let's see if we can find that Caruso 3-point shot. Driving layup. Okay, this is where they got the turnovers. No, we won't look at those. Oh, wait. Yeah, he didn't hit any threes in that quarter. Let's see how Kuzma got his 3. Come on, stats at NBA. All right, maybe we won't get it. Bring up the box score again. Okay, so third quarter. 28%. Heat shot 28%. They just got locked up. I don't recall too many shots that were open. And it was just an avalanche. When a team... Okay, the Lakers actually went 2 for 13 in this quarter. Wow. Didn't expect that. But they did get to the free throw line. Pope got 3 free throws. Dwight got 2 free throws in this quarter. Anthony Davis got 4 free throws in the quarter. So the Heat actually came out with a better defensive effort in the third quarter. Their offense was just awful. Okay, they got locked up by the Lakers. And the Lakers are a really good defensive team, better than the Heat. They're better on offense. They're better on defense. Eesh. Eesh. Now, the Heat didn't play that zone that much. I mean, at this point, it was like a 30-point game. It's kind of done. It's kind of done at this point. So, that was unfortunate. So, okay. So, what I talked about last time were some of the keys, and I'll blow this up higher, bigger. Okay. The way what a win would look like for the Heat is they force turnovers. I think there's kind of 3 keys. Keep Bam out of foul trouble. Keep Bam out of foul trouble. Okay? Because he's really the only one. He's their only rim protection. He's the only rim protection. You can't really count Derrick Jones Jr.'s rim protection. No, stop. He's their only rim protection. Number 2, turnovers. Force turnovers and get points off turnovers. Lakers turn the ball over a lot. At least in the previous series, they've turned the ball over a lot. They only turned it over 12 times. So I think Bam had 2 fouls in in the first quarter. He got 2 fouls, and it's like, oh, he can't even play the second quarter. Did he even play the second quarter? Let's see. Did Bam play the second quarter? So he did play 7 minutes in the second quarter. He didn't get any fouls then, which was good. But the aggressiveness is already sapped away. They couldn't make shots. Okay. Get points off turnovers. Lakers, 12 turnovers. Miami Heat had 8 turnovers, so they won the turnover battle in terms of number. But they gave up more points off turnovers by 2. Heat have to win that one. They have to win points off turnovers. Okay, they got to force turnovers with that 3-2 zone. The third thing is keep the Lakers off the boards. Keep the Lakers off the boards. Okay, let's look at the total box score of this if we go back. So, Heat had 36 rebounds. Lakers had 54 rebounds. 54. That can't happen. It can't happen. Second chance points. +7 for the Lakers. Miami's got to do a better job there. They must rebound. The Lakers are going to murder you if you give up 20. I think they're give up what? +20 on the rebounds? Was it 36? 54, yeah. +18? +18. They need to be closer to like 10. If they want to have a shot at this. They need to be closer to 10. So everybody's got to rebound for the Heat. When that ball goes up, everybody has got to go in there for the Heat. Okay? Here are some good-ish signs from the Heat. They figured out something in the third quarter, right? Because the Lakers only shot 33% from the field quarter. Okay, so they figured out a little bit. It's a little nugget of hope. Now, the game was kind of over, so could be wrong. Let's see what Kendrick Nunn has got for us off the bench. Let's see if he can provide that spark. Maybe he's that curveball the Lakers didn't game plan for, because I've been watching Dragic the whole time. That's possible. Probably not. So the other thing is the Lakers are not going to shoot like that again. That's a lot of threes. That's a lot of threes to make. Update. Let's refresh this. So the Lakers hit 15 threes, right? And this percentage is kind of wrong because fourth quarter garbage time, it didn't really matter. They lit the rim on fire in the second and first quarter. The first half, basically. Like, I'm pretty sure they were like over 50%. 64% from 3. Can't win that way. If the Lakers hit threes like that, let's just pack this thing up and call it. Let's just pack it up and call it. It's over. Like, let's pack this thing up and call it. Because the Heat can't account for that. They must force the Lakers into shooting jump shots and hope they miss them. If they're making them, What else do you do? So I have the Lakers in 6 right now with Bam and Dragic injured and Butler's hobbled too. This might be a sweep. This could be a sweep. Let's see what Kendrick Nunn and Kelly Olynyk have for us. Let's see what Eric Spoelstra can scheme up for us. Let's see if Tyler Hero can turn it on. Let's see if Solomon Hill, Andre Iguodala can have one of those games where he just, hits every shot to steal one potentially. Butler's going to come to ball. Butler's going to come to ball. Let's see what they can scheme up. But I think this is going to be a sweep if those guys. Let's see what happens tonight. I'm still sticking with 6 for now. Let's see what happens tonight. I want to see what this looks like with no Bam and Dragic out there. I just want to see what it looks like. Staying with 6, but if it looks ugly again, where they're playing Kelly Olynyk off the floor, Solomon Hill can't even stay on the floor, it's going to be a sweep. We're done. It's sad. It's sad. We didn't get to see that, full roster on roster. This happened last year with the Warriors. Klay Thompson, Durant, both got injured. Didn't get to see a full team on team. It's too bad. Who knows who would have won? Didn't get to see a full team on team. Even in Game 6, Klay Thompson, Game 6 Klay, he earned that from the OKC and Rockets series. Was popping off. Who knows what would have happened in that game? Maybe they got that game to Game 7, and who knows what would have happened. So it's too bad we didn't get to see that for 2 years in a row. Injuries has ruined the NBA Finals. Sucks, man. Sucks. I mean, arguably, yeah, for 2 years in a row, because I think before that, everybody was healthy. Warriors, Durant and Warriors series against Cavs, everybody was healthy for those. I think Kevin Love might have been hurt, but I don't know, a little bit, but everybody was healthy. Okay, so, yeah, the NBA Finals probably over. We'll see tonight. Can the Heat make this at all a game? Jimmy Butler's going to come to play. We'll find out. So, just real quick, looks like might be on. Let's see if we can find on ESPN. Looks like Doc Rivers is the coach of the Sixers. Okay, looks like Doc Rivers is the coach of the Sixers. I think the reasoning why they went with Doc is he's kind of the safer pick a little bit, because you know what you're getting. He's been in the league long enough. It's not going to be a huge flashy pick. And you have 2 young stars, and Doc Rivers has worked with a lot of stars, right? Think about it. So he's worked with the Celtics. You had Garnett, Pierce, Ray Allen, even Rondo. Going to the Clippers, you had Chris Paul, Blake Griffin. Okay. And then after that, you had Paul George, Kawhi Leonard. So he's worked with these stars before. I'm not sure Doc Rivers is going to change anything about this team. Maybe he makes some trades. Maybe he trades Ben Simmons away. Could that be potentially possible? Could Doc Rivers trade Ben Simmons or Bradley Beal? Do it. Just kidding. They really need to get rid of Al Horford and Tobias Harris. Those are awful contracts. Awful contracts. So, can he get more out of Tobias Harris? I think Tobias Harris played with Doc before he left. Pretty sure on the Clippers. Can he get more out of Tobias Harris? Because he was awful. Al Horford, awful. Those pieces just didn't mesh. Can he scheme up a way? Maybe they go with a more. I mean, they did mostly a post oriented. Maybe they get Ben Simmons into the post more, right? Because they played. Let's think about this. They had a Blake Griffin and DeAndre Jordan Clippers team, right? Now, obviously, that team makeup is a little different than this one, but they kind of had 2 bigs who couldn't shoot. Blake Griffin could kind of shoot, but wasn't great at it. And what happened in the playoffs is teams stuffed paint, essentially. Stopped Lob City. Remember Lob City? They kind of squelched Lob City by stuffing the paint. So it was interesting. I thought they would go with D'Antoni to try to unlock their offensive ability. Because D'Antoni is a great offensive coach. Embiid and Simmons are already great defenders. So is Horford. They have 3 defenders that were really good already. Right? They have 3 defenders who are really good. So I thought they would just go the other way and just focus on the offense. And just go super offense, super fast. Maybe D'Antoni's offensive prowess and scheme it up. But Doc Rivers was the safe pick. Interesting to see what happens there. I don't think it's going to go well personally because I just don't think they're going to change too much as far as what they were doing. And Doc's not really a motivator coach. I mean, you saw him with the Clippers, right? You saw him with the Clippers, and they kept. I mean, Doc took blame for the Clippers series, but they were also saying like, "Oh, we need more time." No, they didn't. Stop. You choked. Stop telling me you need more time. If you got destroyed by the Lakers, maybe, but stop. I want to hear this. We need more time. Okay, so next thing to cover. Does coaching matter? So Kyrie Irving, and we'll take a look at the. I think there's a soundbite we could potentially find a soundbite. Let's see if we can find that real quick. I don't know if we can find it.
All right, well, let's get into this Kyrie everything. Now, Rob, this is.
Let's see if we can find what Kyrie said about coaching. Let's read it ourselves. Okay, let's read it ourselves. All right. So Kyrie says, I think this is on Durant's podcast, right? I don't really see us having a head coach. KD could be the head coach. I could be the head coach some days. Durant followed up with agreeing with Kyrie, calling it a collaborative effort, naming the assistant and former interim coach Jacques Vaughn as someone who could fill a role on any given day. So then they go into talking about Steve Nash. And Kyrie's kind of talking about his personal, that he's something basketball, something he does, and it's not, he serves his community first. So they're kind of looking for a player's coach, which was kind of expected. Steve Nash is a player's coach, probably, given he's a player. And he's worked with Kyrie and Durant in the offseason, so he knows them on a personal level a bit. So this is insane to think that you don't need coaching. Okay, what do coaches do for you? You have a scheme. What's your scheme? How do you decide on a scheme? Right? How do you decide on a scheme? Okay. How do you decide you're down 5 with a minute left? What play you need to run? Okay. This is what coaches are there for. How do you decide how many minutes? How do you decide how many minutes a team or players are going to play? Foul trouble. When do you bring a guy back in? When do you take him out? Who are you going to start? What are your plays? Is it just going to be a one-on-one effort? That's not going to work. That's not going to work against these teams that play as a team. Now, a lot of people point to LeBron James. And yeah, those guys are not LeBron James, man. Are we kidding? They're not LeBron James. He's like the ultimate floor general. Him and Chris Paul. So it's insane to think they could replicate what LeBron James does. Kevin Durant is an assassin player. He's not a floor general. Kyrie's not a floor general. They're scorers. So you need to have a scheme. What's your defensive scheme? Who are you guarding? How are we playing pick and roll against certain matchups and teams? What are our defensive rotations? Are we going to play zone? Are we play man? Are we trapping? When do we call timeouts? So this whole idea of a collaborative effort, you don't want 2 bosses, 3 bosses in this case. Because who do you listen to? Who are you going to listen to? So the idea that they chose Steve Nash and said, oh, we don't need extra coaching. It's a collaborative effort. It's just so naive. It's just so, the hubris. I mean, Jesus. What do you mean you don't need a coach? You're going to do all those things yourself? Why in the world would they then get rid of Jacques Vaughn? I mean, Jacques Vaughn could have just been the puppet then. Why didn't they just keep Jacques Vaughn there if that's what's going to happen? It's crazy. Like, I don't agree with this at all. And you know what? The Nets might be a disaster next year. The Nets could be a disaster next year. Okay? So one of the comparisons you could do is, as a Warriors fan, remember we had Mark Jackson, right? Let's look at the differences. Okay, the player personnel basically stayed the same between Mark Jackson and Steve Kerr. Okay, so when did he start on the Warriors? Let's see, 2014. Okay, right. Let's just look at some numbers. We're going to look at 2014. Team stats 2014. Okay. Was it this year? Okay, this is the Curry year where they went 67-15. And this is when they won the title, right? This is when they won the title. Okay. So their net rating was a 10. Okay. 112-101 that year. Okay. Oh, come on. What's happening here? Okay. So their net rating was a plus 10. They were killing teams for most of the year. They won the title against LeBron James in 6. Okay. What were they the year before? A 5. With almost the same exact team, right? It's not like the Warriors were bad. Okay? It's not like the Warriors were bad. But Kerr moved the needle a whole 5 more points, right? Is that right? Is that the year that Kerr came in? Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was the year Kerr came in. Anyways, I could have that. Okay, the Spurs won the title that year. Yeah, that was the year. And the Warriors. Okay, that's right. Kerr came in, and one of the things about Mark Jackson is he got the team to play defense. Now, they did trade for Andrew Bogut at the time. And the difference was, if you watch Mark Jackson's offensive summary, it was basically only pick and roll. They only ran pick and roll, and then a lot of times they would run ISOs. There's been so many times where I'd be watching the game, and they would just run ISO after ISO. There wasn't any imagination as far as maximizing their players. And then you see Steve Kerr, and then you saw this motion offense. This have Clay and Steph constantly running off screens, and Draymond Green being the one to deliver the ball to them. Creating more cutting, and they stopped doing nearly as much. They stopped doing nearly as much pick and roll. They really lowered the amount of pick and roll they did. It was like pretty low. And you saw the difference, right? You saw the difference. So the Warriors offense, 108 next year. 112, moved by 4 points, right? They moved it by 4 points. And ended up winning the title. So that was really just a coaching and scheme change. Okay. If you're saying that Kyrie, if you're saying that coaching doesn't matter, look at the Warriors. Look at the Golden State Warriors from Kerr to Doc Rivers. It was a drastic difference. That team skyrocketed after that move, okay? Ultimately with the same roster. Now everybody got a little bit better, but Kerr put them into the position to maximize their abilities. The other thing that Kyrie said, which is hilarious to me, this is the first time I had a guy who I could defer to in crunch time. Are you serious? What level of disrespect for LeBron James? He could have said, hey, I have, I'm lucky to be with another guy who I can defer to again, right? When I need to. If I need to. I don't feel the pressure of having to make every last shot or, having the pressure to take that last shot. Clearly throwing shade at LeBron. Now, he might have misspoke. I think he kind of clarified his statements before and stuff and said people are reacting, blah, 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 blah. But how many times have we seen this with Kyrie? Earth is flat. Right? Earth is flat. Like, when are we done with Kyrie? He's a great, great player. Can he be a winner? Now, Durant is the best player on that team. Hopefully he's healthy. Hopefully they can overcome that. They have a good roster. They like each other, it seems like. But this could quickly be a disaster in the locker room. Because initially they're going to have trouble, right? It takes some time to mesh that together. Whole regular season is to kind of go through it and then, hopefully hit your stride. Similar to how the Heat were. The Heat started out a losing record. I think they started out like 6-8. And then they hit that stride mid-season. Towards the end of the season. Hopefully they can stay healthy. Kyrie never stays healthy. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens with this. I hope they stay healthy. It will be an exciting East next year, I think, for once. But Kyrie, you're crazy, man. Coaching absolutely matters. You have one head coach. He makes the call. Okay? So the next thing we're going to take a look at real quick is the NBA Finals ratings. A lot of people are kind of overreacting, I think, a little bit to this. Remember, it's a kind of a weird year. Okay? Let's go to ratings. It's a little bit of a weird year. Let's see. Record low audience, okay. NBA Finals. Record low TV ratings Wednesday. Constant with its steep declines throughout the postseason. Yep. As other sports whose seasons were delayed by coronavirus pandemic. Remember, what came on? Baseball playoffs were on. Okay, the opening game of the series between the Lakers and the Heat brought in 7.4 million viewers, the smallest audience for the finals since 1994. The previous load was 8 million. Remember, we're in September now. It's a weird kind of time. So there's a few things that play a role into this. You have baseball playoffs, which is pretty exciting because they're playing best of threes. So yesterday there was a lot of games with seasons on the line, right? I think the Stanley Cup Finals were on. Right? NFL, who's, the king of ratings. NFL's the king of ratings, right? They were on. So it's kind of like you had a few of these things. Almost all the sports struggled, right? I don't know how, I haven't looked at football yet. Football's probably more or less untouchable. My way I suspected is football's kind of untouchable, and they will continue on. But NBA ratings were low. They've been declining for years now, I think. There's a few factors. It was a blowout. It was a 30-point game in the NBA Finals. Of course the ratings tanked. It was a 30-point game. Tonight's ratings will be bad too. Nobody believes the Heat can win. Okay? Nobody believes the Heat will win. So they're saying in here, the game, which took place 4 minutes later than usual, is down about 45% in total viewers versus last year's finals. Remember, personalities matter. Now, the Heat have been pretty cool, but it was a 30-point game. Tonight's ratings will be really bad because there's no Bam, there's no Dragic. So nobody even will tune in thinking the Heat win. So if the Heat do win Game 2, Game 3 ratings will be good. So the NBA telecast did still have the top ratings for all shows. So people still were mostly watching the NBA Finals, but it was not the same. It's kind of weird. You don't have the crowd, the atmosphere and stuff with it either. You also have a lot of the political stuff. Does matter. Okay. A lot less than I think people, a lot less than I think matters. It's not like people who, are big basketball fans or even people on the side either we're going to watch or not watch. They're going to watch a 30-point game. They're also not going to really watch the Heat. I mean, they have Butler, who's kind of a personality, but LeBron is one. The Lakers are favored pretty heavily in this series, I think. You have the weird atmosphere of it being a bubble. There's been a lot of basketball in a short period of time. Baseball, politics come into play too, obviously. So that's what's leading to the ratings thing. It's going to be curious to see as the NBA goes forward, how can they fix this problem of ratings, right? Ratings are dropping. Contracts are going to get smaller because TV deals are going to be less. The problem with some of the TV deals is people can't watch the games as easily anymore. Look, NFL has Amazon Prime, I think after week 4. If you have Amazon Prime, you can watch football games. NBA TV, it's really hard to watch your team. There's not really good streaming options. YouTube TV helps for the finals. So they need to do a better job. And I think if you are out of market or like if you're in a different area and you try to buy for your team or watch your team, it gets more expensive or you just can't do it. So they need to fix and advance and modernize the NBA TV platform and online and streaming, right? They need to find a way to get the streaming audience. Okay? Because linear TV is dying. They need to find the streaming audience. The NFL already started with the Amazon Prime deal. So good for them. I'm sure they'll continue to expand that a little bit as we go on, especially with maybe Red Zone. Like I could see Red Zone being a deal only because of it's their network. So they're not running commercials anyways. Don't have to worry about TV deals per se. NBA's got to find a way to capture the online audience. It's a pretty young audience, young progressive audience. They need to capture the social aspect of it, which they haven't done. So they need to be careful before they start turning into baseball. Got to be careful. And the last thing I want to look at real quick is the draft preview. So, I mean, right after this, we have the draft. I saw this on NBA, and I'm like, this makes me extremely worried. Consensus pick for the Warriors is Lamelo Ball. Lamelo Ball. Warriors fans, do you feel good about that? Do you feel good about Lamelo Ball being the Warriors pick? Do we even keep this pick? Let's say we do keep this pick. Do you feel good about them picking Lamelo Ball? Okay, remember, they're in the West. Who are they going to be competing against next year and probably the next couple of years? Anthony Davis, Nikola Jokic, okay, Rudy Gobert, right? Rockets are probably going to fade into obscurity. Maybe Portland picks it up. The Suns are coming. They got DeAndre Ayton. Bigs are coming back. Go with James Wiseman if you keep the pick. Go with James Wiseman. Okay? Size matters. And you also preserve Draymond Green a bit. This is assuming they keep the pick. You also preserve Draymond Green a bit as he doesn't have to guard the other team's best big. And it seems like Wiseman has the ability to rebound. Takes relief off to Draymond. Draymond's older. Okay. He's young. James Wiseman's young. Play a lot of minutes, hopefully. They get him on the floor for a lot of minutes. Doesn't have to do a whole lot offensively. His jab's going to be mostly defensively and rebounding and finishing at the rim and stuff like that. You have a vertical aspect now for Curry and Draymond. That dunker spot, remember? Pick and roll dunker spot that they ran so well. Even with Andre Iguodala there, Wiseman will be there. And you need a guy who's going to be able to stay on Anthony Davis and Jokic and Gobert and not have to put all of that shouldering on Draymond Green. Please, Warriors, I'm begging you, do not pick LaMelo Ball. Take Wiseman if he's available. Take him, please. And on that, we close out. Tune in every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Most Monday, Wednesday, Friday from 3:30 to 4:30. Talking to NBA. We'll also be talking NFL. Now the NBA is probably going to be done soon. Cover my fantasy, a couple fantasy of the week on Mondays. Maybe cover Monday Night Football. We'll break down some plays. But let's see if the Heat can turn up the heat, so to speak, tonight. With Game 2. I think at 6 o'clock. Follow me on Twitter. Hit that follow button on Twitch if you enjoy the stream. We'll continue to improve it. Continue to add some production value to it. But hey, we're just a channel that likes to talk sports. So, everybody, enjoy your evening. Have a good weekend. Let's go NFL. Come on, Heat. Make this a game, please. Triple threat out.